Hey, I'm Felissa Rose, and you're watching Keto and Crime.
Y'all, Bill Cosby, he's free. Set him free on a procedural issue, believe it or not. His sex offender conviction has been overturned today by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. I have to admit, the whole Bill Cosby case, which of course, as we all know, took place in 2015, was really hard for me. And I know I shouldn't be the one that, there are victims in this case, so I shouldn't be the one that is having a hard time, but y'all, am a Bill Cosby fan. Not this Bill Cosby, but the Bill Cosby we all know. I grew up on picture pages, Fat Albert. I ate Jello pudding pops because he endorsed them. I watched the old Bill Cosby show way before the Cosby show we all know and love when he was a gym teacher. I watched that in syndication, and of course, I was a huge fan of the Huxtables. Grew up on that. I had fantasies that I was Rudy's best friend, and something happened to my parents in the show, and I got to become Claire and Heathcliff's child. That's, in my head, I lived that way. That's how much of a Bill Cosby fan I was. I paid to see him live in Birmingham, his stage show, his comedy routine, and he pleased as always. I mean, I love Bill Cosby, y'all. So when everything that he was accused of came out, I was devastated, and it was a hard pill for me to swallow. I wanted to believe that he was innocent. But after reading through the transcripts and diving into the cases, he's partially guilty for most of it, at least. Some of what happened may have been consensual, but I also believe that he took advantage of people as well. So, yes, he's guilty of at least some of the charges. But we all know that in 2004, a Temple University sports administrator by the name of Andrea Constrand was he was convicted of it, so we'll just say was assaulted by Mr. Cosby, and the charges were filed by then Philadelphia District Attorney Kevin Steele, literally 11 days before the 12-year statute of limitations for sex abuse cases in Pennsylvania elapsed. So it was very close to the wire. And then during the course of that case, five other victims who alleged that Cosby had done similar things to them were allowed to testify, and he was subsequently convicted. He also refused parole because he wouldn't go to a sex offenders program, alleging his innocence. But what people forgot, he actually did confess to consensual acts with women in which things like quaaludes and things like that were involved in the 70s. Now, I'm a quaalude baby. I will be the first to admit my parents got wacky as all heck on quaaludes, and that's why I'm here. So that went on in the 70s, but he did confess to what he said were consensual acts that involved quaaludes in the 70s. However, some of those women have come forward and said they weren't consensual. But with the amount of women that accused him, I have to believe at least half of it is true. So I believe Bill Cosby is a predator. Like a lot of powerful people, this is not just men. Powerful people have the ability to do things. Um, and it happens a lot. And I think sometimes people are scared to come forward. Now, we could get into a big debate about why not come forward sooner. Well, in 2004, he was still the Bill Cosby we all know and love. I mean, how many people were going to believe you? I understand that those constraints happen, but then there's still that common sense about why not come forward. Um, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. But basically, cut loose today because it came to fruition that some of the that because he did testify and basically implicate himself during a civil case in which Constrand had sued him, that Kevin uh, Kevin Steele's predecessor had agreed not to prosecute him criminally. However, the new district attorney went ahead and did it, and that Cosby's lawyers took this all the way to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, alleging that this was a mistrial. He should never have been charged that close to the statute of limitations because the previous district attorney promised not to. Now, they say that was never put in writing, and so this is very definitely a procedural issue. Now, whether it's wrong or whether it was a split decision by the justices, but, you know, they voted to overturn the conviction. He can never be tried again because that's double jeopardy. So he will live out the remainder of his life in his suburban Philadelphia home and probably stay out of the limelight, I would imagine. Ms. Constrand, who was his accuser, has not yet come forward with any statements. Some of the other alleged victims have said they're very disappointed. Cosby's family, of course, I'm sure is very happy that they haven't made a statement. The only statement comes from Felicia Rashad, who played Claire Huxtable, who I am a huge fan of. I love Felicia. Saying that her sister's pretty dope too. Saying that that a huge injustice has been righted. So she's definitely standing by him, and I can understand why. You work with somebody that long and that closely, you don't want to believe that they could do anything bad. I've been in that position myself where a dear friend was accused of some heinous things, and I didn't want to believe it, but turns out it was true. Um, but yeah, that's the news. Bill Cosby is free. Sex conviction overturned. Can never be tried again. And I will, if you want, I will do a deep dive into this case and do a full expose on it if you would like me to. If you would, let me know down below. But I will be out tomorrow with the Chad Daybell's Emma summation, just in time for the weekend. And talk to you all soon. Until next time, Keto Krime out.